Hello and welcome back, guys. This is Ibrahim Qureshi here, and we are continuing the module 3, and in this we'll be discussing templates today. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ibrahim Qureshi. My Twitter handle is @Ibrahim Qureshi, and my blog is agileops.co.uk. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, and like my videos if you like them, please. So let's get started. So we have covered module 1, 2, and we are in module 3. We covered virtual machines. In the last session we covered how to re-register, how to remove a VM on inventory, and how to re-register it, and what happens when we delete a VM. Basically gone for good, right? Okay, so today we are going to cover templates, and then the following topic will be clones. So let's get started. So we are going to check out templates today. Now, if you remember, there are files which gets created when we create a virtual machine. Now, when we convert a virtual machine to a template, the VMX file basically gets changed to a template extension as well. So it basically changes, and it basically changes to an extension which is called VMTX, and well, I think it is VMTX. We'll check out in a minute anyway. So let's basically start with a demo on templates, and then I'll quickly show you how to create a template. Now, templates are very useful. They are useful because, say for example, just before I show you how to create a template, let me just give you some examples, and this is all real life examples really. So say for example, I have a Windows machine. I have basically install a Windows 10, which I have here. Actually, I do have a template running Windows 10. Once we have installed that, and we basically install all the applications which we need, and then we can also install any of the components which are important to you, okay, which are, maybe a backup tool, or any particular software, like maybe you need Office, or you need Excel in there, or any application which you will need to use again and again. So after installing all that, roughly to get that VM ready, you will spend a good amount of 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, because Microsoft update itself, sometimes they take more than 1.5 hours after you install the OS. So you have spent 3 hours now. So if you want another machine, you don't need to go and create the VM again and do updates again and all that and waste another 3 hours. What you can do is you can use this particular machine and create it, and basically use it, make a template out of it, and then use that template to create new virtual machines. Now, I normally, before I make a template, I use something called sysprep. So you just need to go on Windows, run, and then type sysprep, and then shut down. You select the option generalize and shut down. So basically it removes all the SIDs, which is more related to Microsoft OS anyway. If you are re-registering it to the AE, then if it's the same SID, then it will basically complain. So that's why you will need to do that. Once you do that, then what we'll be doing is basically we'll create a template out of it. So I have a virtual machine here, which basically is just running Windows 10. So it's literally out of box. We just install Windows here, and then what we are doing is, let me go back and pull, there you go. So we just installed Windows 10 here. So we'll select what the name of the country is, and that's it. That is installation. It took me a couple of minutes to do that, well, at least more than half an hour to do that, and it's all ready now to become a template. So let's skip this, and once we have everything how we want, what we'll do is we'll create a template out of this. Now this is still configuring some stuff, but I'm quite happy for this. Just for the purpose of this demo, what we'll do is we'll power it off and we'll create a template out of this. Now there are other ways to do a template as well. I can leave this running and I can do something clever, like going back to the virtual machine, and then I can say right click and go to template, and because the virtual machine is not is powered on at the moment. It doesn't give me option to convert to template, but this is where we work and do the template operations. So template, and then you convert to template or export as OVF template. Here you can see that option. Now because the virtual machine is running, you can do a clone now, which basically covers a little bit of cloning as well, which means basically it will leave this virtual machine running, but it will create a new virtual machine, and it will, once it is created, it will convert it to a template. So that's another option you can go for, but both of them will get you a template. Now if you do not if you still want to use the existing machine which you are using and you don't want to convert it to a template, but you want another copy of it as a template, that is the option you would go for. Leave that running, do whatever you're doing on it, but clone this to a template. If you want to use this particular machine as a template, then basically I would say power the VM down, and then once it is power off, let's power it off. So also one more thing we need to do is, obviously when you deploy the OS, then make sure you right click and mount the VMware tools and install VMware tools, because that will improve the performance and everything on your VM. Okay, so we have the template here. So we basically will say, just for the ease, I will say convert to a template, and that option is now available for me to convert. And if I say yes, it will basically disappear from the VM and host tab if it is there. Now let me give no, I need to show you what I mean as well. So this particular VM is going to be somewhere here, and you can see it's in VMware template. And you can see it here. So as soon as we convert it to template, it will disappear from the host and clusters tab. So this is the host and cluster tab. As you can see, it is coming up, which is the alt text, which we call. So let's go and convert to template and click yes. There you go, it's disappeared. And you can see other photon and all that coming up. It will, however, be available in this tab, which is called the VM and template tabs. So all the template basically comes up here, and you can see it is a template now. Now, if you go to the data store and find out this particular data folder for VM, which is new virtual machine, you can see the VMX file is now converted to VMTX. So that is the extension for basically a template. So that is also an important question. Sometimes it does get asked in interviews and exams as well. So remember that when you convert a virtual machine to a template, the VMX file basically gets changed, and there's no longer an option for you to power it on either. Of course, because it's a template, you can't power it on. So if you right click on it, there is a lot of options which are missing here. You can only clone to a template, convert to a virtual machine again, which will make it a virtual machine again, clone to library, which is to do with the VMware library. Okay, so hope that makes sense. And the other thing you could have done was, as I was saying, right click on it and go to clone and clone to a template, which is a similar method, a different method to basically create a template that will basically leave this particular VM alone, and it will clone a new VM. Clone is an exact replica of what you have running, and then it will be then converted to a template. Or you can also do a clone as template to library. So you have your library, which is used for templates, and you can store ISOs and everything, which is called the content library in vSphere 7. It has been available since 6.7 as well. So that's what you can do. You can basically clone as a template to content library as well. Okay, so that's about it, folks. I hope you like the demo, and template is very useful purely because you can save a lot of time. Maybe you spend couple of hours to get it right, to make it your best OS, and you can call it a gold template for your OS for Windows 10 or Windows 2019. And then you basically create a template, and next time you need to deploy it, you will just right click and deploy, and then you can deploy a virtual machine from there, and you get everything which you did in 3 hours set up for you within 10 minutes, because it just quickly deploys the template. The next session I will have after this is I will clone a template. I will deploy a VM from a template, and then which will be 2019 server, and we'll install a DNS server in there, and well, basically we'll make a AD server out of it first, and then we'll deploy a DNS server on it as well. And I will use a Windows 2019 template to deploy a virtual machine. So be sure to check that out as well. And that's all for today, folks. If you want to check out my blog, it's agileops.co.uk. The agenda of all the course which we are going through is here. I will link the videos which I'm doing on the on this agenda page as well. The question for today is, what happens to a VM when it converts to a template? So specifically, what happens when you're on host and cluster tab? What happens from there? Is it available there, or is it going to disappear? And what happens to the VMX file? Is it going to be available? So answer these questions, because I have discussed in detail. And lastly, just a reminder of my blog, agileops.co.uk. Check out the step-by-step installation guide for everything, like vCenter and everything. If you're struggling for setting up your home lab, reach out to me. I have set up a couple of labs for quite a few people, and they are enjoying it. Of course, it's not free because it's going to use my resources, but reach out to me. I have created these labs for people who are struggling to set up their labs, and it's my way of basically helping them out to set up who can't set up a lab, to use my own lab and practice, because obviously learning all this is good, but if you don't practice, it's not going to glue into your head very much. So yeah, reach out to me on Twitter at Ibrahim Qureshi. You can direct message me, or you can send an email to me at hello@agileops or ibrahim@agileops.co.uk. I'll put the details in the description as well. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and hit the notification bell to get all the updates from me. Enjoy watching and keep sharing, guys. Cheers, bye.